Welcome back. Well, the last two sessions, we focused on the resilience muscles of confidence and positivity. And what we learned is that those two muscles together really can help us to build our energy and get ready for the days ahead. Of course, conversely, we learned that if we don't have those two muscles built up, that it can really drain our energy, drain us of all the resources that we need to get through whatever challenge or major change we're faced with. But let's assume that we've developed these muscles and we have the energy that we need. Regardless of who you are and how much energy you've built up, your energy and the resources that you have available to you, they are definitely limited. They're always limited. And as such, it's so important that we focus the limited energy that we have well on what's most important. So this leads us into our next resilience muscle, which is priorities. And we're going to define priorities as identifying and prioritizing what is most important. I've been doing financial counseling for about 20 years now. It's just a personal ministry of mine. And I meet with couples and I help them put together a financial plan for their future. And no matter if it's a couple that's been together 2 months or 2 years or 20 years, I find that typically they have not sat down and talked to one another about their goals and their values. And so one of the things I do is I have them do an exercise where they individually write down what their short, medium, and long-term goals are, as well their values. And then when we get together in our session, we just walk through that and discuss those goals and values. And it's always amazing to me, that simple exercise and how effective it is in clearing things up for a couple. But not just for that session. I have couples come back to me many years later, and they let me know that, yeah, the plan that we put together was great. But really, one of the most important things that we did was put together this list of goals and values. Because in every case, the plan, well, it had to change. Because life, there's change. There's major changes that come along in life, things that we didn't plan, the unexpected. And those couples that were grounded with their goals and their values, they knew what was most important to them, and they stuck to it, no matter how much their circumstances changed. And in the same way, each of us individually needs to be very clear about what our goals are, what's most important to us, what our values are, so that when things change, we're ready and we can stay grounded. Now, it could be that in the moment, we have to change what's most important. And therefore, I'll say that priorities really is about determining what's most important right now, because we need to stay focused on what's in front of us. At the same time, be looking forward to the future. Well, now let's take a moment and look at what happened with the Apollo 13 mission. They launched, and not too long after they went into orbit, they had a very significant equipment failure. And all the folks who were on the ground had to figure out how to get the astronauts back. Let's watch.
Telling me you can only give our guys 45 hours? That brings them to about there. Gentlemen, that's not acceptable.
Gene, we gotta talk about power here. Whoa, guys! Power is everything. Power is everything.
What do you mean?
Without it, they don't talk to us, they don't correct their trajectory, they don't turn the heat shield around. We gotta turn everything off. Now. They're not gonna make it to re-entry.
What do you mean, everything?
With everything on, the LEM draws 60 amps. At that rate, in 16 hours, the batteries are dead, not 45. And so's the crew. We gotta get them down to 12 amps. 12 amps? How many? You can't run a vacuum cleaner on 12 amps, John. We gotta turn off. We have to turn off the radars, cabin heater, instrument displays, the guidance computer, the whole smack.
Whoa, guidance computer. What if they need to do another burn? Gene, they won't even know which way they're pointed.
The more time we talk down here, the more juice they waste up there. I've been looking at the data for the past hour.
That's the deal?
That's the deal.
Okay, John. The minute we finish the burn, we'll power down the LEM.
All right.
Now, in the meantime, we're gonna have a frozen command module up there. In a couple days, we're gonna have to power it up using nothing but the re-entry batteries.
We've been tried before. Hell, we've never even simulated it before, Gene.
Well, we're gonna have to figure it out. I want people in our simulators, working re-entry scenarios. I want you guys to find every engineer who designed every switch, every circuit, every transistor, and every light bulb that's up there. Then I want you to talk to the guy in the assembly line who actually built the thing. Find out how to squeeze every amp out of both of the machines. I want this mark all the way back to Earth with time to spare. We never lost an American in space. We're sure as hell not going to lose one on my watch. Failure is not an option.
Now, that's a challenging day at work. You've got 3 people hurtling through outer space with a major equipment failure, all counting on you to figure out how to get them back home alive. Well, I want us to take notice that in the video that we just watched, what we saw really was the result of Gene Kranz making the decision years earlier that from now on, the Apollo space program would be known to be tough and competent. And I think that's what really allowed John, the young engineer that you saw, step forward with confidence and challenge everyone in the room and say, no, we have to make a change right now, and we need to do it immediately to get these guys home safely. And I think that applies to our own personal lives. By making decisions now about what our goals and values are, when things get tough and when challenges come our way, we're going to be able to stand on our values, stand on our goals, stand on the things that, when we were thinking clearly, are most important to us. And that's going to lead to our success. So let's get really practical for a moment, now that we've learned a little bit from the folks of the Apollo program. First, one of the things that you can do is take some time. Take some time to sit down and get real clear about what your goals are for the next 5, 10, or 20 years. And it may be that those have to change over time, but by putting those goals down, you'll find that you'll start working in that direction. And when you're forced to make a decision, especially something that could be quite emotional, you can turn back to your goals and your values, which you've decided is most important to you, and stand on that and not get swayed just by the emotion of the moment. Secondly, there are tons of distractions in life. We all know that. We're faced with them daily. We get asked to do things. There are things that pop up, opportunities to do things. And sometimes the most important thing for us to do is just say no. And remember, you're not saying no to that particular opportunity. You're not saying no to that person and letting them down. What you're doing is you're saying yes to the goals and values that you've predetermined are most important to you today and for the future. Well, that's the end of our session for today. And we do have a short exercise for you to do following this video. Please do that. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.